Hi. Been a long time since I did a video log, because that was when I was traveling and doing interesting things. University does not often allow time for that. But I am doing something interesting now. For those of you who don't know, when I'm not studying, I try to do stuff with wood projects every now and then. Nothing crazy. But this year for Christmas, I decided to do something because it's been a while. These guys. They're personalized candle holders for members of my family. And I thought I would document the process because maybe you find it interesting. Maybe it gives you an idea. Who knows? But yeah, here we go. This is what I have so far. So the premise is very simple. There's one large section right here, two smaller ones right there. Those ones are shorter, so that when you look at it done here, it's kind of like a cubist approach. And I went to the woodworking shop in Cary, which is fairly nearby, which was very useful because I didn't know it was there, and got materials earlier today.
Take my hand and come with me because you look so fine that I really want to make you mine. You look so fine that I really want to make you mine.
Obstacles are common. Pretty much every time I do anything, run into one now. I have to try to get this 3-inch drill bit through the 6-inch piece of wood all the way down. Because I want a clean cut, I have to cut all the way through it with a handsaw instead of a electric tool. I messed up, but that's actually okay. Improvisation means that I'm just going to come up with completely different designs for each of them, and that way I have 4 very distinct products instead of 4 identical ones. But yeah, schematics. Okay, apparently people are worried that I'm gonna like kill myself because of it's not a big mistake. So I was trying to do like a drawer and it split the wood a few times. So this piece is kind of really just a test dummy piece. I don't think that plan is logical to follow through on, so that's why I'm doing new one. This process takes a while. I just spent an hour using a chisel to smooth out that. It's one of the new designs that I did because I fucked up. Day 2. First thing I'm going to use is this right here to hold the wood and drill a big ass hole. If this doesn't work, I'm fucked, but okay. Because I couldn't end up making the same design 4 times, I kind of changed it up a little bit, so I have a few different varying options to make it more interesting overall. My favorite element of any of my projects is using chisels and doing stuff by hand. Electric tools are really great when I'm trying to get stuff done or stuff that'll take a long time, but for things like this simple project, marking that and turning it into this is a lot more fun to just kind of go at it and see what you can do. Okay, I did a good thing. I managed to get this circle out of this piece of wood, so it'll go all the way through. That's where the candle goes. This may not look like a lot, but for me it is, because that's pretty much the base of a candle. Once it dries, sand it out, make sure it's smooth, and then get ready to stain it. Went with red walnut. It should work well with the accent colors that'll come later on. It's currently 3:10 in the morning here at the workshop. Took a break for a little bit, but I'm back out here working. Might seem like an odd time, 3 in the morning, but I kind of get that way. It's very peaceful at night, and it's very quiet, and this is already a bit of a solitary process, so actually talking to you guys on here is a bit of a deviation from my normal, but I always like being out here because it's my dad's workshop primarily, and most of the tools that he uses from my grandfather, so there's a bit of a family connection, and it's a side that I don't get to exercise all that often, so it's always kind of nice to see just the same process and thoughts that they had when they were doing this kind of stuff over the years. But the actual reasoning that sparked that last video was this discovery of the big ass socket set. This is definitely something from my grandfather. Whether or not he labeled it big ass socket set, the world will never know. I haven't opened it. I expect it is a big ass socket set. What the fuck? Yeah, I'd call that fairly big. Good for midnight intruders trying to steal my work and patents and such like that. Jesus. Anyways, this is the work that I've got so far. Most of the wood at this point has been cut. Most of the holes have been drilled, and they're glued and clamped until they're pretty solidly bonded together, at which point I'll do some more sanding. I'll even out those holes on the inside, and then I'll get ready to start staining this stuff probably tomorrow. Unfortunately, I can't do any more work outside because I don't want to wake anybody up. So instead, I'm going to do stencil design. Each of the candle holders has a personalized North Carolina symbol attached to it. So example, my mom's will have a dogwood blossom because she likes those. There'll be like a Wright Brothers flyer, or there'll be, I don't know, maybe Hatteras. I'm not sure yet, but I figure I'll just do some research, find images I like, and create new looks. Being that it's almost sunrise, I think I'll call it a day. This is just what my ultimate goal is going to be. Day 4, walking out to the workshop. I'd just like to comment that it is the 23rd of December and it's like 70 degrees right now. It's kind of ridiculous. Day 4, walking out to the workshop. I'd just like to comment that it is the 23rd of December and it's like 70 degrees right now. It's kind of ridiculous. I'm not going to complain though. The weather makes sure that I can actually sit outside and enjoy staining rather than standing in a stuffy workshop. And I have a nice yard, so I'm glad for that. First round of staining done. For the most part, successful. There are a couple of places where the stain didn't actually pick up. In this case, it's where the wood chipped and had to be glued back in. In other cases like this one, it's just a matter of the quality of the wood at that particular spot. Either way, I'll be applying a second coat later on today. Should pick up some of that. But it looks nice, and I'll be using it as an accent, both on the designs that I eventually draw and kind of here on the bottom on different pieces that I'll attach later. Round 2 is staining all wrapped up. Something I noticed, interestingly, the gold paint that I was using earlier, when you apply it to the wood, it leaves this red chemical burn into it. At this point, even though I'm in a work mindset, I can't really do anything else with the wood. It has to sit there and let the stain set, so I'm just kind of done for the night. Tomorrow early, hopefully, I'll take a Dremel and start engraving some of the designs into the sides of the candle holders, and then I'll accessorize it with a little more of the gray paint, put everything together, and see how it looks. I couldn't actually sleep, so I came back out. Used the Dremel, my favorite tool. It's probably everybody's favorite tool, and smoothed out the inside of these pieces so that compared to what they were, they're much nicer to look at and also much easier to paint when I get around to that point. As you can see, I inlaid the tea lights on the sides with a gold paint. There'll be a felt green pad at the bottom of those eventually. I actually have one of them done. It's up here right now. This is not 100% done, but this is kind of what my dad's one's going to look like. There'll be eventually kind of Wright brother insignia on the side engraved in, but other than that, this is pretty much wrapped up. Wrapping up for the night with some gold spray paint that I've used here on the insides of the cylinders with only the minorest of fuck-ups, which I'm super thankful for because this was the part I was guaranteed to make some kind of heinous error on. So I've survived that, and it looks good so far. And here we have a finished engraving and painting. There'll be some minor gold work that's going to go on the bottoms and the sides, but other than that, this piece is done. Second candle holder done. This one's from my dad. He loves the Wright brothers and the whole idea of the first flight, so I figured I would do one kind of themed around that. It's Christmas Eve. I don't want to be here anymore. I've got family inside and things to do, but I wanted to show you guys the 2 final projects that'll be shown off tomorrow and given away. These are the ones for my dad on the left and the one for my mom on the right. I think they turned out really well. Thanks for sticking around and being interested in it. I got a lot of positive feedback, and it's always positive in itself to get that in return, so I'm glad you enjoyed.